Welcome to another In Wheel Time podcast, a 30-minute mini version of the In Wheel Time car show that airs live every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central.
And then you have to do yours.
Thank you.
Gotta wait till it comes up.
Here we go. How many years have we been doing this now? It's the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Just ahead, Sue Mead live from the Dakar Rally. Yeah, on the other side of the earth. We Need More Jeff is back in the house with a feature on the Small Block Chevy engine. Later, the Ready Kilowatt electric car nut, Buzz Smith, joins us.
Ready Kilowatt.
Remember Ready Kilowatt?
No, I haven't been in Houston that long, but I've seen I saw the neon piece out at John Hovis.
Well, you get the point. It's electricity. Conrad has the car clinic. We'll also have the stories making automotive news headlines this week. It's all just ahead on this edition of the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world Mars, King Conrad DeLong, Mr. Jeffrey, we need more Jeff Dziekan. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us on this Saturday. We are live, obviously, Saturday morning, Central Time, 8 to 11 o'clock. And if you're listening to a podcast, clearly the show is over with. This show is anyway, but yes.
But so thanks for listening to the podcast.
Yes, absolutely. And there are 6 podcasts that come out of this 3-hour show. They're half hour each. So we invite you to look at that, listen to that, if you don't catch the entire 3-hour show.
Or if there's something you want to hear again.
And again and again and again. And we do have those kind of mess-ups that are worthy of listening to. Did he actually do that?
We're about to have one today.
We're probably going to have one today. Well, it's the first time back in 3 weeks.
Yep.
Yeah, we missed
Haven't
Christmas.
been here since before Christmas.
Yeah, Christmas and New Year's.
Haven't seen you since last year.
You haven't? Good one. That sounds like something that I heard back in actually grade school.
I heard it last year.
Yeah, did you? Yeah. Mars, I see that you're up to your usual down there, not talking and fiddling around with your
he's
computer.
Looking for guests.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out. We went to a lot of trouble to make this connection around the world.
And what's happened to it?
They're at lunch. They're at
lunch. No, they're in bed.
Uh-oh.
Is it 9 hours?
I think it's more than that, isn't it?
No, it's 9 hours.
It's 9 hours?
Yeah, they're in Riyadh,
Saudi Arabia.
Yeah,
so the suns are going down over
my
there.
My sister used to live in Cairo and also in Johannesburg, South Africa, so it's all that same general time zone. So I knew it was 9 hours.
But one's south of the equator and the others are north. I just thought I'd bring up the only knowledge that I ever gained in school.
I know people who live in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Now, is that in the Eastern time zone or is that in the
Eastern? Yeah.
Is it? Okay, just checking. Well, we are a car talk show, believe it or not.
And we're not talking cars yet.
No, we're not talking cars yet. But I do have something that I wanted to, while we're waiting for our connection around the world to hook up, so to speak, that there was a interesting article yesterday. I think it was on Autoblog on zombie cars. Discontinued vehicles that aren't dead yet. In other words, hanging around on dealer lights, kind of like that Biscayne that Ross and I managed to, in a dealer trip.
Cars.
Zombie cars.
Never heard that phrase before.
I hadn't either, but it caught my attention. How about the BMW 6 Series? They only had 55 total sales last year. 55. I would call that a zombie car.
The 6 Series?
The 6 Series. Or how about the BMW i8?
Oh, yeah, that's the electric.
They had 18 total sales last year.
Seriously? That's actually a good-looking car.
That's the little car.
No, that's the i3.
That's this thing here.
That's a good-looking car.
Chevy Impala. Believe it or not, they still have some hanging around. And they sold 750 of them. That's a lot of them hanging around because they don't sell sedans anymore.
2020?
You turn them into
models?
Let's see. It doesn't
and actually for the Chevy Impala, after it went front wheel drive and stuff, it's a good looking car.
It is. It's a pretty good looking car. Yeah. Chrysler, the Chrysler 200. Remember the Chrysler 200?
They're still sitting around on dealer lots.
They sold 15 of them. Or how about the Chrysler Town and Country?
That's the minivan.
Well, yes.
I like minivans.
But, the Pacifica took over its place.
Yep.
Well, they sold a total of 4 Chrysler Town and Countries somewhere in the United States.
Is there a demolition derby we don't know about?
Exactly. How about the Dodge Dart? There's one for you. Remember the Dart?
That was a neat car when it
Well,
came out.
it was okay. They discontinued it back in 2016 is the only big problem. Is there a problem over
The
there?
Dodge Dart? No, we're good.
Okay. The Dodge Dart. Yeah. Toyota Corolla pretty much killed it. Dodge Viper. What are you guys doing over there?
He's
Trying to figure out where my power is because my computer just went down.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll let you guys mess with that.
right.
Dodge Viper. Could you believe that there would be any Dodge Vipers hanging around? Jeff probably sat on the...
Yeah, he did. He pulled the plug.
I thought they sold all the Vipers.
Well, no, apparently not, because they did sell 4 of them.
And probably all 4 of them were sold by the Viper Exchange up in Tomball.
I don't know about that.
Is there a Viper exchange?
Fiat 500. They sold 51 Fiat 500s. That abomination of an automobile.
Tell us what you think.
Yeah, well, I mean, I really tried to like that car. No. Infiniti QX30.
Okay.
They sold 1.
Seriously?
Yes. Apparently somewhere that was production on the on that
QX is their
the
small SUV.
Infiniti QX30 ended production after the 2019 model year.
Oh, wow.
Doesn't Ainsley have one of those?
No, he has an Infiniti, but not that. Jeep Patriot.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, that's been out for a while.
Yes, the Patriot, they discontinued making that in 2017. Well, they sold 16 of those. Can you imagine 16 of those still sitting around?
Since 2017.
If you're a dealer, and you have a couple of these around, all of these years later, wouldn't you make a fire sale or something out of it?
Yeah, put a spiff behind it or
Anything.
donate it.
A fire sale, especially if you went through Harvey, out of it, at least pushed it out of the showroom into the deep water.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. I mean, I don't know. I don't why would a dealership keep something like that around for all the years later?
No idea at all. Doesn't make sense.
Okay, so to
Because they've
finish
been
this
playing
up,
floor plan expense on it this whole time.
Nissan 370Z. All right.
Sounds fast.
Well, you know the 370.
Yeah.
That was discontinued after 2019. Well, they sold a total of 36 of those. So there was 36 sitting around since that model year.
For 3 years.
My brother
I don't
owns,
understand.
he
How
owns
about
these.
the FJ Cruiser? The FJ Cruiser, that model ended production in 2014.
And they still had new unsold.
One. They had 1 of them.
Oh.
I thought that was pretty interesting.
I've never heard of zombie cars. Now I understand why they call them zombie cars.
I never
But
heard-
there's always that old beater sitting around in the back of the dealer's lot that nobody ever
Like
sold.
the Biscayne that was at Richardson Chevrolet that
Was a
Ross
dealer-
and I had our way with.
It was
let
a
me put
dealer
it that
trade.
way. But it
Leave
was
it at
it was
that.
a dealer trade. It wasn't actually sold to a person, and so that was the one that we were constantly moving around. And every time we had to move the car, it had to get another battery put in it.
Well, I remember when I started working for Oldsmobile in 1984 up in Oklahoma, there was a Chevy Oldsduel in Sayre, Oklahoma, that had a 1978 Chevy Citation.
Oh, yeah.
New,
Brand new.
brand new.
Still had the plastic on the seats.
Still there in 84. So that was 6 years later.
My sister-in-law, Nancy,
Your other sister.
yeah, my other sister-in-law owned one of those.
Citation.
Yep.
Not that
Cindy-
great of a car.
Cindy owned the Citation.
Yeah.
They were
Cindy
known for morning sickness.
Yep.
What was known as morning sickness, which was when you first started the car and it was cold in the morning, the steering
would
was
shudder.
No, it was stiff. It
You had to really work.
Yeah.
And it had power steering on it.
Oh yeah, it was. Well, it was a I mean, GM never wanted to admit it, but it was a defect in the steering rack.
See, this is one of the reasons that I don't like to tease our guests.
Na boo boo.
Because every time I do, We don't have them. So, at any rate, but I do have another feature for you.
All right.
Why are you looking at me that way?
My ears were burning like you were talking about me.
We were.
Always.
Auto debuts on tap for 2022. This is a story that Automotive News did. Acura will launch a compact hatchback to replace the ILX sedan and is bringing back the Integra name.
Yep.
The new hatch will be the first Integra with a turbo motor.
Wow.
Okay,
Integra's got a good following.
so we can't get Zoom into Saudi Arabia this morning. We could yesterday, but we can't get it this morning.
What, some nuclear bomb or something went off over there? Or?
You don't ever know what they're doing over there in that weird world. But I
That's
got her
true.
on the phone.
Okay, well, I'm going to save this. Okay, well, that's fine. We can do that.
Did the Zoom get its shots?
It must not have had its card
Okay,
with it
well,
or something.
She's on.
Sue,
Yeah, we are on the phone. Are we going to have a visual? Should I do FaceTime?
no, I don't think we can do the FaceTime. I can't make that connection with the setup we got here.
Let's
to feed
just
out
go
the
with the
video.
audio, shall we?
Yeah, let's talk, Sue.
Okay.
So tell everybody who Sue is,
So
if you don't
Sue
mind.
Mead is an automotive journalist, a renowned outdoor automotive journalist. She's been in a lot of off-road races, and right now she's with a team over at the Dakar Rally in Saudi Arabia. Am I saying that right, Sue?
Absolutely right. I think I gave you a tour of the bivouac in Riyadh last night in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, I was hoping that we could do something like that today, but apparently if we're not going to be able to do that. But now you're over there. The team that you're with is Amy Lerner. She is the owner and team driver from the United States. And her co-driver is Sara Bossaert. Is that correct? That's
Very
it.
good.
And she's from Spain,
Okay.
right?
Absolutely. And
Okay. So,
yes.
so
And
tell
we
us about the
also
car
have
and tell us what's
three
going on.
I'm going to turn you over to Amy very quickly. We have three members of the team that are from Belgium, so we're quite an international team. And I'll start by just saying quickly that this is Amy's second Dakar, and she's at the halfway point, and I'm going to let her say a few things right now.
Great.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Amy.
I'm actually just gonna walk inside of our camper, and hopefully it will be a little bit quieter for you guys. There's a lot of generators, there's a lot of cars getting worked on. Right now it's rest day, so everybody's freshening up, revisiting what they need to do with their cars to make it through the second half of the rally. So, okay, here we are. A little quieter inside.
That is real quiet. That's the quietest I've ever heard quiet.
Guys,
Where are you leaving us?
So you're in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia,
yes, we are.
at the Dakar Rally 2022.
Indeed.
Before you get, how's the weather been for the rally?
Hot and dry in
It was
Saudi
act-
Arabia.
Actually, it's been a little cooler than it was last year, and the first few days of the rally, we were absolutely dumped on with rain, and there were a couple of stages that had to get canceled because rather than, sandy desert, as you would expect, it was lakes and puddles.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I can't imagine that environment likes a lot of rain. It probably likes a lot of rain, but it's not designed for a lot of rain.
No, the water just sits.
So how do you plow through it when you're racing?
Can we talk about the car?
Well, we actually forded a stream and had probably water up to the doors on the Porsche yesterday. So if it's a situation where the organization thinks it will be unsafe, they will either divert or cancel. But if there's just water, you got to go through it.
So tell us about the Porsche you're racing.
I am driving a 1982 911. It's a 3.0 liter engine. It's the 911 SC, and it is prepped and built for this kind of event. So there's an FIA spec safety cage. We've got a fuel cell. We've got racing shocks. Everything that you could reinforce, we have reinforced. The engine's got a racing tune, racing seats, harnesses. All the safety equipment, all the navigation equipment. special off-road driving lights, and pretty much everything you need to make it through 12 really tough days.
So how does it survive with water up to the doors?
I took an off-road training class once where we drove through water that was almost up to the hood. So I learned you just kind of keep moving and, all the water gets pushed away. So we just barreled through and had a nice muddy section afterwards. Had a little bit of mud on the floor inside, but not too bad. We managed.
What's the power output of the 3-liter on that?
It's tuned to about 260 horsepower.
Oh, wow. Okay. And let's see, you said it was an 82?
82.
So it's air-cooled.
Yes, correct.
So a real advantage out there having an air-cooled engine versus the struggles you can have with, some of your competitors with water-cooled and some of the issues they can have with a water-cooled engine. So, are there other Porsches running out there?
Yeah, there are actually. I was the only one last year, but there are 2 others that were built. One is a 90-something, and the third is, I think, an 84 or an 85. So
okay.
Similar era.
And then, what class do you run in?
The Classic is divided 2 ways. One is by era, so it's pre-96, I think, pre-86, 86 to 92, I think it is, and then 92 to pre-2000. And then within those age groups, you have the option of doing the rally at 3 different speeds. They call it H1, H2, H3, H1 being the slowest, H3 being the fastest, and that's just kind of a personal choice. Except if you have one of the older cars, they don't permit you to race in the fastest class because they assume your car won't survive and it's going to just be problems for everybody.
And that H1, 2, 3 categorization, other than the older classic cars, is more a driver choice or a driver skill at what level you're going to race at?
It's kind of both. It's not only driver skill, it's also navigator skill because the co-pilot is constantly talking. They're constantly giving instructions on navigation, where do you turn, what's coming up next in the terrain, but also the timing because it's a regularity rally, so you have to keep a specific pace. So if the driver can handle the faster class, but the co-driver can't, you're not going to really be successful. So it's got to be a happy choice for everybody.
Okay, and the race. Dakar 2022 started January 1st, correct?
That's correct. Yep, we had our prologue January 1st.
And then how much, and I'm going to use the word, I might not use the word correctly, how much reconnoitering are you allowed to do as far as time-wise before the event?
Absolutely none.
Oh,
seriously? Not like a Baja. Yeah, it's not like a Baja race where there's pre-running and you get the map files, a month ahead, and you can run your course and run your sections and make your notes. You get your instructions of where the course is in the morning as you leave the bivouac.
Oh,
so
wow.
You only be a half hour ahead, and it's anywhere from a half hour to maybe 2 hours, depending on how long the drive is from the bivouac to the first start. And I'm driving, and the co-driver is looking through that road book and figuring out, where are we going to have trouble? What are we going to have to do? What are we going to have to do for tire pressure? And just getting our strategy down for the day. And she talks me through, what's coming and what do we expect, so we can kind of plan, okay, here we'll do this. At this point, we'll have time to have a snack and a quick drink, all the important stuff to get you through the day.
And then are you allowed to use electronic navigation devices?
It's not going to do you any good because you only know, you don't know your end position. You only know the course you're supposed to take note by note.
Oh.
So it's a piece of paper with boxes on it, and each box has a diagram that will show there's one main road going straight, and then there's an exit to the right. And the instructions will be in 500 meters, you're taking the exit to the right. And then you go to the next box and you do what that one says. So even if you had using, Google Maps, it's not really going to help you at all, because there's no way to plug in the full course.
And when you are, let's say, at speed, at whatever terminal velocity the vehicle can go on a flat straight, how fast will you be going?
We are competing in the H1 class, so the fastest speed that we've seen is 90 kilometers an hour, and the H2 class is probably 95, and then H3 will be maybe 100, 110.
In kilometers.
Kilometers per hour.
Okay, so
multiplied by 0.6.
About 66, 67.
54,
Yeah.
60, 65. Off-road, completely off-road.
Well, but even at those speeds, that 500 meters comes up pretty quick when you have no idea where you're going and you're assuming that crossroads, and I'm assuming these are public roads that you're on, or are you just out in the desert somewhere?
You are most of the time you're on some sort of a track, but the track can be a sandy track that, is traveled by 2 people a week.
Oh, okay.
And you have to know, and you're also given on your instructions, you're also given compass headings to verify sometimes if it's not clear which one of, it could be 4 different roads going off in front of you, whether you're on the first, second, third, fourth. So you line up to the compass heading that matches the road that you're supposed to be on.
Wow.
There's no signs, there's no landmarks, there's bushes, there's rocks, but it doesn't really help you. So you have to really be precise.
Take the third olive tree to the left, right?
Kind of, yes.
And then how many years have you been running? Because I know Dakar started North Africa and went to South America. Now you're back in Saudi Arabia, but I'm going to call that North Africa. They might not want to call it that, but I will. How many years have you and Sue been running, not necessarily together, but been running Dakar?
So this is my second time at Dakar. Sue has been here 7 times. Correct. In various roles. As, twice as media manager for us. She's been there as a driver, been there as a co-driver. She's been there doing media for manufacturers. So she's had a lot of experience at the Dakar.
Well, that's cool. We really appreciate you joining us today, and we wish you all the best in Dakar because you're kind of at the middle of the event right now, if I remember correctly. And
yep, exactly.
We wish you well as you come back to Jeddah on the 14th of January. Thanks a lot for joining us.
Thank you so much. Thanks. Appreciate it. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right.
Can you imagine going out in the desert and running the Dakar Rally?
No, I can't. Nor would I raise my hand to do that. It's just not my cup of tea.
That would be awesome.
I wanted to find out
We'll take the C5.
if they're trained to say recalculating while they're doing it. Recalculating.
Oh, no, probably not.
I just wondered.
And what do you do when you miss the turn? I guess you just got to swing around and go back and then kind of refigure your directions.
Me. Yeah, be one of those rallies that I've been on 1 or 2 of those where you have to go. There's a name for it.
That checkpoint?
Well, it's more than that. Yeah, and you have to the hint is, okay, there's going to be a billboard on your right-hand side in 2.3 miles. What are the last words on the billboard? And then you write that down.
Oh, no, I don't think they have to do that.
No, I know. What I'm saying is that it's still just a pain like that.
Oh, I'm sure the directions are complicated but vague.
Big scorpions and spiders and
no, it's not like the Land of the Giants.
All right.
But that was cool.
Moving on. Time now to do our feature with Mr. Jeffrey Dziekan, who this week has a look at the small block Chevy engine. And did that not come out in 1955?
Well, we're going to talk about it.
And it was a 265 then, was it not?
There you go.
Well, you're stealing Jeff's thunder.
Well, I mean, I'm just recalling trying to lead into your story here.
Well, just for fun, there's some colorful facts about Motor City's
Is the color orange?
Ubiquitous engine.
Okay.
We don't know who counted them, but it's said that over the past 7 decades, General Motors has manufactured more than 100 million examples of the Chevrolet small block V8. And not just for Chevrolets. Here's the word again, ubiquitous V8 has been used by every U.S. car division in General Motors except for Saturn and 2 European, which were Opel and Holden. So those 2 did not have it. Number 1, and you've got that, if you could leave that up there because we're going to get to that here shortly. When the V8 was introduced in 1955, Don, the typical Detroit V8 Cadillac, Chrysler, Pontiac, all of them, used a 10-bolt per cylinder bank to secure the heads in place. He's got that up there. All right.
Yep.
However, the small block Chevy uses 17 head bolts per side, in part to provide a better gasket seal. This arrangement, torque sequence shown on that right there, also reduces cylinder bore distortion when the head is torqued in place. With 10 bolts, the cylinder is pulled into a squarish shape, but on the Chevrolet, the shape is closer to a pentagon. On the rounder bores promote for even seals.
It's basically got 5 bolts per cylinder.
Right. Number 2 have been seen in the Chartreuse Chevy V8, the color. Remember that?
No.
You're old enough for that.
Chartreuse.
It was actually
orange.
It was actually a color. They call it Chartreuse. It was actually a factory color. The Chevy V8 enlarged from 265, Don, to 283 cubic inches in 57, but the 265 version remained in production. And it was...
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was disguised with 2 displacements. The Chevrolet painted the 265s a bright chartreuse color until mid-year when all the V8s were finished with the appropriate Chevy red.
Orange.
Well, it's orange.
Well, they call it red.
I understand.
I know that. All right, so number 3, if we're all taking notes, Mike, the small block cylinder head is not only interchangeable from the left bank to the right bank, it's also book fold layout. That, in other words, you can fold it either way. That is a head casting section.
Oh, there's your chartreuse engine.
There you go. Yep, there it is. Essentially symmetrical on each side of the vertical center line. This simplified everything. And number 4 was the small block Chevy manufactured more displacements, and there's a list of them to go on, everything from a 262 to a 400 cubic inch. And lastly, perhaps the most intriguing fact, and this, I'm going to read this verbatim here. We've included
Here's a 409.
There you go. In 65 years after it was introduced, the small block Chevy is still being produced. While the engine is discontinued in production vehicles since 2002, GM's Chevrolet Performance Division continues to offer a full line of crate engines, Conrad.
Oh, yeah.
Blocks, heads, all the components, all the accoutrements. Remanufactured parts is not part of it. They're all brand new. So
you can still buy a 283?
You can still buy it, yeah. They're not remanufactured, but they're all brand new stuff. And, of course, the 55 Corvette, the 265 cubic inch displacement V8 is the ZZ6 350 crate engine, which sports a roller cam, electronic fuel injection, titanium intake valves, Conrad.
All stuff they never offered in production.
Right. And up-to-date features, and it's rated at 420 horsepower. And what I like to say is get a crate, tub it out, drop it in. There you go.
The original 265 didn't even have an oil filter on it.
No.
It wasn't until like 57, I think.
Seriously?
They put an oil filter on it as an option, and then it became standard. And some people would just literally stuff a roll of toilet paper in the filter housing as the filter media.
Well, I remember very well that Ronnie Green, who inherited his grandmother's 1957 four-door Chevy, that it did have an oil filter on it. And the reason I know that is because we didn't tighten it the correct way. And as we started the engine, the oil just pumped right out of the engine onto the garage floor.
And it was mounted up high
on
the
it made
intake
a
manifold.
Huge mess, not only on the floor, but also all over the engine.
Yeah, the suspension and everything else.
Yeah,
Kept it lubricated.
Hey, I want to remind everybody that the In Wheel Time Car Show streams on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and InWheelTime.com. Podcasts are available on your favorite podcast channel. And the In Wheel Time Car Show continues right after this quick break.
You're invited to the event of the year. The Houston Auto Show and Houston Boat Show are getting hitched. January 26th through the 30th at NRG Center. The Auto Show and Boat Show unite for the first time ever. Take a test drive, board your dream boat, check out the latest and greatest models. One ticket gets you into 2 great events. The Houston Auto and Boat Show, January 26th through 30th at NRG Center. Tickets at Ticketmaster.com.
Because of inclement weather, the Tailpipes and Tacos December Cruise-In was canceled. Darn it. But when it returns in the spring, expect a new and exciting way to enjoy the gathering. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's unique Saturday morning cruise-in, and with a new quarterly format, you'll have more time for car mods and to get ready for cruise-in trophies. Yup, you can compete for Best Hot Rod, Best Classic, and more. And the top car will be featured on a full-size poster that'll be used to promote the next event. Bragging rights are guaranteed here. Tailpipes and and Tacos wants to thank all participants and visitors who made the event an exclusive, fun gathering of unique cars, trucks, hot rods, and lots of muscle. And we know you'll enjoy it even more in 2022. Tailpipes and Tacos will still be held at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy, just south of I-10 at Kingsland Boulevard on 99, the Grand Parkway. Stay tuned right here to the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show, and we'll tell you the exact date for the next event. Until next time, be sure to visit the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy, where you'll find the best fajitas this side of California. That's it for this podcast episode of the In Wheel Time Car Show. I'm Don Armstrong, inviting you to join us for our live show every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and our InWheelTime.com website. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart Podcast, Podcast Addict, TuneIn, Pandora, and Amazon Music. Keep listening, and we'll see you soon.